So not only did that cost us Cubs ML last night, that just cost the Cubbies the season. I cannot believe they blew that 6-0 lead last night when I told everybody the Cubs ML was my most confident play. That was moonshine. Give me the Ducks. I'm fading Colorado. Give me Oregon to win this game big and catch Colorado sleeping, coming in on their high horse thinking they could beat anybody. Well, they're about to get taught a lesson. That was the most Notre Dame melt I've ever seen.
So I don't know why we're rushing 3, even if we're short a guy. I don't know why linebackers are not playing up further on the line. I don't understand any part of it.
The Cowboys did it again. They lose to the freaking Cardinals.
That's a concerning game for sure from the Cowboys. The real meat on table play would be his completions. There's just not a line out for that yet, so I don't want to just pull a number out of my ass. But he's going to dink and dunk their way to a lot of completions and probably a lot of yards too.
Damn, brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Thursday, episode 323 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Pickett Sports. If you guys aren't using Pickett Sports to track your bets and just join a much less toxic gambling community, go check it out. It's free on the App Store and Google Play. Definitely worth your time. And Javon, we got the sub bangs rolling in already.
Great start.
Alan Neutron coming in hot. Jimmy's Pops. Alec coming out, giving 5 subs to the community. Holy smokes, Alec. That's how you start out a BTL app. We got Wags Locks coming in hot once again with the subby Squad Ride Air. Javon, why don't we start there, my man? W Squad Ride chat. W's for Javon and that damn Twins team total. Never in doubt. That's what I'm talking about, folks.
The Twins came through. It was a little harder than it should have been, to be honest.
It was sweaty. But you know what, Javon? I wanted to sweat a little bit. I don't want it to be easy. Okay, nothing about this is easy. just trying to feel something. And last night definitely felt something, having to wait until the later innings against the Moose Shit Athletics, but they came through. W's, never in doubt, as Alec gives out another subby to Coop Eagle in chat. Coop, if you're in here, man, you better send a thank you card to Alec because he's clutching up for the community. All right? Chat, hope you guys cashed yesterday. It would be pretty hard to not if you're watching this show. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you share this show with your buddies in your gambling group chats. We're trying to grow it as much as possible. We're going to keep working our asses off to find you guys winners day in and day out and be here every day. But we need you guys to help and support us. Share the stream. All right? We've got something good going on here, folks. You don't got to gatekeep it. All right? Send it to your buddies. Get them in here too, as Cronus comes in with a sub bang as well. Guys, plenty to talk about today. We've got a lot of football. W's, Javon. Football's back. Thank God. Not just baseball today, but we'll surely touch on that as well. College, Thursday night football, MLB slates, the whole 9 yards. Might even talk about the Ryder Cup. All right, Javon? W's, let's go through the recaps because they're W's from yesterday. Why not? Squad ride, that's what I'm talking about. Couple pushes on some squares on Prize Picks yesterday. These guys got scratched. Hate to see it. Michael A. Tater and Trent Grisham did not get in there, although Grisham got a pinch hit. That's still a DNP. The Cubs Atlanta under, we're going to talk about in a minute. I'm still upset about that one, but Javon, the Pirates did blow it to a Harper nuke. That one probably did sting a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. 5-0 lead kind of hurt, but it happens. Yeah. It's the Pirates.
It happens. It's the Pirates. And they melt. That's why they're the Pirates. But you know what? The only thing that matters is that damn squad right on the left. Let's keep it real. I mean, that's the one that needs the cash. And we got another W last night, chat. That Thompson less than 2.5 earned runs got sweaty. Shout out Trent for almost jinxing it on Twitter, but cash it. Never in doubt.
There we go.
Javon, great work. We had a guy who threw $1,200 on the squad ride last night, Javon. Look at this absolute rider. Beast, Hayden Phillips. Wasn't even able to listen to that. But he locked it in. In chat, if you ever miss BTL, just know you can always go back and rewatch it on our YouTube page and on Twitch. That might have been what our guy Hay Fades did. Let's go, Hayden. Wow. $12.50 piece. Wow. That's big trust. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Big Matty Mark coming in with a sub bang. Let's go. Cash the squad ride. W's. Cronus coming in hot with a subby. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Love the energy. Love the focus today. As a Pirates fan, that's not true. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the Pirates anymore anyways. Javon with W's. The Prize Pick slips were printed as well last night. Cash the B team.
Yeah, little B team.
I mean, we might need to switch the names, and we might need to make the B team the A team because that's the one that cashes every single night, Chad, if you guys haven't gotten hit. That's the one that's been smacking. And we got another one last night. Not even the powers of the great fade god could, void that entry. He tailed it. It smacked. It got off to a slow start there. Miller looked good, but, I mean, Javon, you said it perfectly, man. He was grooving fastballs down the middle. It only took Houston the second time around the lineup to really get to them there. W square and W entry. That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out Mauricio Dubon. Yeah. Don't think I've ever seen him pimp a home run ever. I was shocked when I saw that.
Never, ever. The balls were flying. I mean, Maldonado hitting nukes as well. Everybody was getting involved. That was a W. Yeah. Just let the B team keep cashing. No need to change it up. Yeah, we're not going to actually change it up. Just making a joke about the B team always cashing. And yes, Patrick Corbin, Moose, terrible square yesterday. I know you were affected by that in chat. If you were, I apologize. I hope you tell the B team as well because Corbin is just not it, folks. He's just not a good starting pitcher. And we should not be taking him to do anything. I take full responsibility.
I don't know. I mean, definitely not in the strikeout department, but he's been kind of good. I mean, that was a good start. That was like overall solid performance. Hate that he can't get the strikeouts, but he's kind of good this season. There's something there.
Just the way that, the amount of money he's paid, and he still has a 5.2 ERA at the end of the season, that's not acceptable. Yeah. It's not. So, sucks. Yes, it was a good season for Corbin, I guess, compared to last year, but still not a good year. And with the amount of money we're paying him, it's unacceptable. Dwarf Noah coming in hot. Let's go, my man. 16 months. I love every single one of y'all boys. Hope you're doing well. POD Dwarf is Josh Reynolds. more than receptions, and Wicks more than receptions. Javon, you like those plays?
We can talk about it when we get there.
Sure. We will go over all the squares, sides, totals, you name it. Once we get to Thursday Night Football, folks, no stress, no rush. We got plenty of time. All right. Chad, I might have had the best day on Prize Picks I've had in my entire life yesterday. Not going to sugarcoat it. Not capping either. I got the slips. Javon, 8 racks yesterday from these 4 entries. A lot of these squares were yours. Little splitterson. Max Kepler respects coin. Wade Miley walked someone in the first inning and did not walk anybody the rest of the game. That's called legacies, folks. Zach Thompson came through, and it was always Miller. Great call there, Javon. Cashed a couple 4 pieces, 3 pieces, and even a nuke 2-piece. What a day. Don't let me get hot, Chad. It might be too late.
Yeah, there we go. Don't let him get hot. Looks like we got some young Q bangs in chat, too.
Yes.
Goats.
Young Q 5-piece?
What a goat.
You guys are on one today. Let's fucking go, Chad. Can we get some W's going? Yeah, Fat Girls Inc., I'm not taking that play. I'm not taking that play. Don't you worry. W day yesterday. Guys, that iPhone 15, it's coming. Just wait.
It's coming, yeah. It's on
coming.
the way.
All right? Although I'm hearing that phone might overheat. And people are saying it might not be ready yet, so I might have to wait another month. Apparently, they're
great.
literally burning people's hands. That's how hot the new titanium is. So,
That's
Chad,
good.
be careful out there. Seriously. Apparently, the new iPhones are dangerous. So stay posted on that. I'll give an update. Going to need to cop one when I can cash out these coins. Let's go, Javon. Legacy week on Prize Picks. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's cash today. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
W's. Laporta, bro.
Esophagus is crazy.
Yeah, dude. Jesus. Yeah, that means glue. Sure.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody's got his meat glued today. And we'll talk about that once we get to Thursday Night Football as well, Javon. That ain't no problem.
Yeah.
That ain't no problem.
No problem.
Thoughts on yesterday? Any other games or plays you wanted to shout out?
I mean, I feel like we got to talk about Miggy for a second. Getting pretty close to Patrick Corbin not being the only one to sell that entry.
Yeah, if he hits 2 more in the next 4 games, I think they have left. Maybe, I guess they're playing right now.
They're playing right now. They got doubleheader today.
He hasn't hit one today yet. Oh my God, he did.
Well, it was the game from yesterday, right?
Okay, I just had a heart attack. Yes. This is the game they picked up from yesterday. We're chilling.
Yeah.
We're okay. Okay. All right. I thought he just hit another one. I was about to lose it. I want that 2X. Okay, don't give up. But yeah, we need Miggy to chill out here. If he hits 1 more, I'll really be sweating. But those juice balls are about to be, there for the rest of his games. They have to be. Yeah,
especially if or because his series at home too. This last 3 games against the guards.
Oh, Phil's Judge is not close. Relax. Relax. Steamed crabs for Kurt Schilling. No, I'm not going to give that piece of shit any more attention than he's getting. Clearly, he dropped that bomb on his podcast just to grow it and for clouts. Kurt Schilling, and guys, I used to be a Red Sox fan growing up. I kind of used to be a Kurt Schilling guy. I liked his, the way he went about the world. He didn't give 2 hoots. He just said what he, thought and believed. But it's getting kind of ridiculous, dude. You can't be dropping a bomb like that on your podcast when people don't even know that Tim Wakefield has cancer. And prayers up for Tim Wakefield and his family. My goodness, he was one of my favorite pitchers growing up to watch. Like I said, used to be a Boston fan. Tim Wakefield was magical. Growing up as a kid, I thought knuckleballers were a normal thing. But now that I'm older and I've watched baseball for this long, I know that Tim Wakefield, he was a unicorn. That guy was majestic. He was special. The best knuckleballer of all time, in my opinion. Prayers up to him and his family. And Kurt Schilling is a mega piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't know how in the world you do that. That was ridiculous.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. If you're asking what he did, he revealed to the world that Tim Wakefield has brain cancer, which was not a public thing yet. And that's kind of fucked up, if you ask me. All right, and that's the last time we're going to talk about it. Prayers up for him and his family. And Kurt Schilling, I hope he steps on the biggest Lego in his entire house because he deserves it. All right,
there we go.
If you guys want the steamed crabs, I'll give you the steamed crabs. It's not about Kurt Schilling being a useless, terrible human. Okay. It's about unders in baseball. Javon, I've had about enough of these unders getting into extra innings and losing. And I've had enough of sneak nuking them and absolutely losing my mind when I see the game go into extras, because I know once it does, the under's kicked. All right, let me take you through this game last night. Once again, guys, let me take you to Chicago and Atlanta, because every time I do, I'm an absolute news pest. And we're here again. Would you look at that? Great. I mean, Albie's first inning bomb, get a note up on my phone. I'm like, all right, well, the over's probably caked. If Ozzie Albies is in a nuke in the first, there's going to be plenty of runs in this game. And then the runs start to settle. Javon, there's really not much scoring, throughout the majority of the game. I think it was like 4-1 going into the seventh or something like that, maybe even 3-1. It was low scoring. And then the bullpens go in. And you know what's about to happen. And it was always first 5 under, to be completely honest with you. But you get to the later innings, these two teams putting their bullpens in. Next thing you know, would you look at that? Ozzie Albies is tying the game up. I guess it's just Ozzie Albies' day, having a legacy performance at the plate. And as soon as this game got tied up, I mean, I knew this shit was going into extras, folks. It wasn't even close. And if a game goes into extras, your under's chopped. And I think there should be some sort of rule change with that, but we'll get to that at the end. We go to extras, or we're about to get there. I think we're getting there. And then Yan Gomes, Nationals 2019 World Series champion, Yan Gomes, in the top of the ninth, gives the Cubbies a lead with a clutch base knock. 4-3. I'm sweating out of my mind at this point, hoping they don't score another run here because it's first and third, one out, and they don't. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. It's a 4-3 game. I'm telling myself, no way the Cubs blow another one back-to-back days when they're about to make the playoffs or potentially miss it if they blow another fucking game they have a lead in. And what happens? The worst human being in the league, the biggest scumbag of them all, Marcell Ozuna, who I don't even think should be allowed to play in baseball. I'm just going to say it. He's a piece of shit. And he hit a home run last night to tie this game up and send it into extras. Ozuna from the Braves. This guy steals coins like no other, and he thinks he can drive a car drunk. Two things I don't fuck with. Okay? And the former came into play last night, Javon. What do you know? Bottom of the ninth. And you're telling me they don't have anybody better than Leiter to put in this game at this point, Javon? The Cubs are about to miss the playoffs because they continuously melt. And they don't have anybody else besides Leiter to go in the game at that point. As soon as I saw him going out there, I knew it was chalked. I knew the clutch Braves were going to come back and tie this game up. At some point I thought maybe they'd just win it. And I cashed my under 9.5. They win 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth. But that'd be too easy, Javon, and that would make way too much sense. After the Ozuna nuke, this motherfucker was going to extras. Lock of the Eon. Okay, we get to extras. What do you know? Ronald Acuna coming up to the plate, and he gets a base knock, and the under is chalked. Guys, if I lose another under in extra innings, I might have to retire from betting unders in baseball. It's fluky as hell. There is no reason that I should lose my under bet in that game because of some stupid time rules that people who have ADD or can't sit their asses in a seat and watch America's pastime for 3 hours. Now they got to change the fucking rules because everyone has the attention span of a walnut. And now it's costing me hundreds of dollars. I am fed up betting unders in baseball. Maybe I'll just start being like Mikey Overs and betting fun overs in baseball because this shit ain't working. But that was a good bet. That should have hit. I felt smart. But you know what? It lost. And I don't even give a shit about Acuna ripping the base out. I think that whole thing is ridiculous. Let that guy do whatever he wants. He's an absolute legend. But yeah. Javon, you can't make it up. Ronald Acuna driving in that run and then icing on the fucking cake. What do you know? Ozzie Albies, just for good measure, a walk-off. Absolute legacy day from him. This game hurt my brain. And I'm fucking pissed. Oh.
Yeah. That was
dumb.
A wild game. I was excited to see the Cubs lose. That was fun.
God,
it was fun.
I mean, that team does not deserve to go to the postseason.
Nah, no, they don't. And if anybody has to do it, I'm glad it's looking like it's going to be the Marlins because that'll be fun.
The Padres are alive. There's
Dude,
life.
somehow, yes, they are.
Yeah, if they have to win out, and then the Reds, Cubs, and Marlins all have to lose out.
Literally
Yep.
everything that happened yesterday has to happen 4 straight days.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a
So
chance.
tell me there's a chance.
There's a chance.
The Pirates sweep the Marlins, and I will hang them up.
We got a POD Pete 5U whale.
Let's go.
POD Pete. Yes. 2 words. Yes. And chat, I know we're running a late BTL today, so we're like kind of wrapped up this afternoon a little bit. But after BTL, POD Pete is running a stream on the Just Baseball Twitch page. Go check it out after BTL today. He'll go over MLB and I think some NFL as well today. Go check out their stream after this. Please, please, please. But for now, let's get some W's in chat for POD Pete, and let's keep moving and grooving, Javon. That's enough talking about losers from yesterday. I cannot believe the Cubbies did it again. Should I be more mad at baseball for the rule changes? Should I be more mad at the Cubs for sucking? Should I be more mad at me for betting an under in that game with those 2 bullpens? Who do I point the finger at? Is it me? Is it baseball?
Maybe.
Is it the Cubs?
Maybe.
What do I do? Because I'm mad at somebody.
I mean, it might as well be the Cubs. Cubs are bad. Cubs are not making the playoffs. Their bullpen is absolute moose shit, and they're going up against the Braves. I mean, it's kind of something you would expect to happen, but yeah, kind of sucks. But, hey, shout out the Braves, man. Shout out the Braves.
Unbelievable. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving, folks. Let's talk about some MLB day games, Javon. We've got baseball starting up all day. Looks like we've got – what do we got starting up? Kansas City, Detroit in about 30. That's a great game. Reagans versus Gibson Long. I know you've been waiting for that one. You probably couldn't even sleep last night. Any plays in this one?
Yeah, not really. Other than the fact that it's, I guess, not technically game 2 of a doubleheader. It kind of is, at least like game 1.5. Don't really want to get involved, but I mean, Cole Reagans has been so good. And the Tigers against lefties is not something that scares me at this point in the season. So, I mean, with the line coming down to a pick 'em, yeah, it's probably going to be a little shorter with Cole Reagans due to the game that's going on right now. But I don't want to get involved because it's looking a little short. I mean, Sawyer Gibson-Long also just got hit up a good bit by the A's last start out. And Cole Reagans is everybody's favorite pitcher now, rightfully so. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a spot where maybe Cole Reagans finally looks human. 7 total, so it's not like he's going to go out there and get destroyed. But maybe we just get a pitcher's duel the Tigers pull out.
Death, taxes, Ron Muck's clam sub ban. I'm going to say it every day. Another one. W's. Ron, you're my goat. I appreciate you. Pega looks like he finessed the system and cashed with Christian Minnesota.
There we go.
W's, Pega.
There we go.
Good work. W bitchin'. I got you paid. Love it. Thanks for the sub bank, Pete's. W's. Appreciate chat being thankful. They don't have to come in here and do this and give out sub banks. Very, very appreciative of that.
Oops.
All right. Maybe Detroit sweeps a doubleheader today with the Royals, already looking at next season.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Any prize pick squares you're in love with?
I don't even know if they have any up for those games.
Probably not. Doubleheader, first game still going. You're so right.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there.
Okay. All right. Dubs, let's keep moving and grooving, Javon. Let's talk about some NFL Week 3 previews, chat. Here's how today's app's going to go. We're going to power through these Week 3 previews, all right? We're going to go over the MLB slate. Not too many games, but a couple good ones. And I got my eye on one late night. And then we're going to do some college football talk for the 3 shit games today. And then we're going to end with the best for last, Thursday night football, plays, straight bets, props, prize pick squares, you name it. We're coming with the heat. All right, chat. So stick with us. Bring the energy, bring the questions. And let's go ahead and get it kicked off, Javon. NFL Week 4 preview. You ready?
Maybe.
Sure.
Just maybe.
We'll start it out with snooze fests. All right, we'll get it over with, chat. 2 games we think are going under. 2 games we think are not going to be too exciting. And you guys might be shocked by the one I picked on the left. But I really do think this game is going to go under. And that's the main point of the segment, chats, is to give you a snoozy under. And I love the under 54 between these 2 teams, who I think their defenses will step up in a prime matchup between 2 of the best in the NFL. Everyone's going to be on the Dolphins after putting up a 70-piece, or they're going to be on the over in this game because they saw the Bills put up, 40 points against the Commanders last week. And the Dolphins, we know what they did last week. My goodness. The over is going to be a very trendy play, and the total did creep up from 49.5 to 54 for good reason, probably because of the performances we saw from their offenses last week. But I'm not buying it, and I am buying the Bills' defense, who I think will be able to do enough to not only win this game, but I think they'll be able to do enough to keep Miami below 20 points in this game. And if they could do that, the game's going to go under. The Bills will win this game and cover, but I think they're going to surprise some people and lock up Tyreek a little bit. No, I'm not taking the freaking less than touchdown, but I am fading them this way and back in this elite Bills defense that is still underrated and undervalued. All everybody talks about is Diggs and Josh Allen. Well, the Bills have a top 3 defense in my eyes, and I think they're going to clamp up in a perfect sell high spot for the Dolphins, who are going to be entering this game thinking that they are literally unbeatable and unstoppable. I wouldn't blame them. They were last week, but that was against the Broncos. Now you got to get a Buffalo in play? Oof. This game just reeks of a nasty, contrarian under, and I love it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, somebody pointed out in chat too, there's a couple of the ones every single week that hang around that 54 number that look like the most obvious over on the board. They haven't been going over. We've seen that, I think, every week of the regular season. So I'm excited for it. I think the Bills' defense is a lot better than people, I guess, are giving them credit for, at least in this matchup, because the Dolphins look absolutely unbeatable.
100%.
I went with Pats Cowboys under, partially because these are two offenses that even if they get going, they've been terrible in the red zone. Obviously, we've seen the Cowboys struggle, especially last week against the Cardinals in the red zone. They're very inefficient there, and I think you're going to get a very conservative approach from the Cowboys against the Patriots. I mean, if the signal thing comes to fruition with Will Grier and Zeke helping out the Pats scheme a little bit, there's that, as well as just the overall solid Pats defense. And they're going to come with a game plan that's going to put Dak in position to make mistakes. So from an offensive perspective, I think it's going to be a lot in the short game, a lot in the run game too. Not to say that they think they're going to be overly efficient in that area, but they don't want to put Dak in those situations where they know it's going to be Dak versus Bill Belichick. So I think from the Cowboys' perspective, very conservative, a lot of stalling out in the red zone if they do get there for a majority of their drives, and it's going to be a field goal battle, I think.
Please don't tell me it's true.
Dak. I mean, it's a tough game to not expect one from Dak.
Why is Jerry signing babies, man?
Dude, I don't know.
Why is he signing people? I didn't think that was a real thing. I thought that was just something from Talladega Nights or the movies.
Yeah.
He literally signed a child.
Jerry's just an insane person.
He just signed a person. That is wild. Okay. Well, on that note, go ahead and give me the under and let's fade the Cowboys offense, because that's weird. Javon, let's talk about some blowouts. All right, I'm going to stick in the same. Or actually, let's go with Mikey over. Let's talk about some overs. We just talked about an under. Let's go talk about some points. And I squared up for Kitch here. Yeah, this one looks like a free over on paper. The total's up from 44.5 to 46.5. There's some narratives in this game I want to back. Number one, the Vikings are 0-3. And I'll tell you what, they're going to keep their foot on the gas the entire time. And Kirk Cousins, bless his heart, might end up breaking every NFL record at QB this season, and they might not win a game, which is kind of sad. But their offense is firing on all cylinders. It's been their defense that's holding them back. Yeah, Kirk might not be the clutchest at times, but I do think that offense shines once again against the Carolina defense. It's not atrocious, but they're nothing special, nothing to write home about, in my opinion here. And Carolina, whether it's Dalton, whether it's Young, I don't give a hoot. Honestly, might even prefer the former. I think they'll be able to put up some points because of one guy, Adam Thielen. Nobody's talking about Adam Thielen and what he's doing enough. I mean, the last 2 weeks, he's been a top 5 fantasy football wide receiver. No, he's not, beating people down the field like Tyreek Hill, but he's getting people in on short routes, and he's absolutely being a ball hawk, catching a bunch of passes, and he's had back-to-back touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. I think he makes it 3 weeks in a row. Thielen revenge narrative here, folks. And also, if you want to talk about, Zeke and, the West Virginia Will Grier kid, maybe telling the Patriots about some Cowboys bullshit, how about Adam Thielen, who's been in Minnesota for years, filling in Carolina about how they can slice and dice this Vikings defense too. That plays and that pays. I think Thielen has a great day, and we'll get to that in a moment when we talk about prize pick squares we like. But I love points from both sides in this game I don't think the Vikings are as free as everyone says they are. I know they're up to -4.5, but I do think we'll get points here from both sides, plenty of them, and I wouldn't even be surprised if the Panthers cover or maybe even win this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. That's going to be a strange game. I'm interested to see what the Panthers offense looks like. Will be pretty interesting, regardless of who's at quarterback. So I don't hate that one at all. I went with the Texans Steelers over, which this one obviously like week one was a little different in terms of like what we thought of the Bears, but this seems to me like kind of the same gut feeling and spot as the Packers Bears over was looking at me week one. This, I guess, is a little different because we've seen a lot from the Texans, like on the both sides of the ball. CJ Stroud has been absolutely fantastic. This offense has been really good. I think even better than some of the people who are most optimistic about this team thought coming into the season. And their defense has also looked really good, especially last week. So I do think even with kind of the disadvantage that they're going to have on the offensive line with the Steelers pass rush, I think that's going to be a good thing for CJ Stroud. He's been throwing, 40 times a game. A lot of it's been more down the field than you're probably going to see in this game, but I think it's going to help the offense get into a little bit of rhythm. So I am buying the Texans offense, and I do think that they're going to be really good for the majority of the season. And, I mean, the Steelers secondary has not impressed, I don't think, anybody. We saw I'm not going to pretend like Nico Collins and Tank Dell or Devontae Adams or anything, but what he was doing against that secondary last week on primetime was absolutely absurd, and that's happened with a lot of these offenses and wide receivers against the Steelers secondary. So Texans are going to score. I think the Steelers score too. Texans secondary still is a little bit banged up. They've been playing well, but I do think, again, Kenny Pickett is going to do enough down the field in this game too. I think this is going to be one of those that you look up and shockingly, you look up at halftime and there's, like 30 points in this game.
Could not agree more. Buy stock, buy now on Houston. At least that offense. CJ Stroud is good, folks. He's legit. Somebody said before the season he was going to be the best rookie quarterback. He's balling. He's throwing the ball plenty. This offense is pass heavy. Javon, we got a couple Qs in chat here. Pickens, Kirk, or Palmer this week. I probably would go Pickens, but I don't think you could go wrong with any of those guys.
Yeah, Kirk's a little inconsistent for me, and that's a pretty weird matchup for him. So, I mean, I would say if you're starting two, I'll bench Christian Kirk there.
Okay. W's. We move. And then who the heck do I start this week? Tank Dell or Nico Collins?
I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, It's hard because, like, Nico Collins is the guy there. It's like he's going to see the most volume. Tank Dell, I think, has significant boom, aspect to him. But, I mean, everybody's been tearing up this Steelers secondary, especially, like, number one options. So I don't think you can go wrong.
Nico Collins or Adam Thielen? I would go Thielen.
I would definitely go Thielen, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But also, you can't go wrong with those guys.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Crab's team is in no shits if that's the decision you're making on who to start. ASIM. My fantasy football team might be no shit, but I also drafted Cooper Kupp and Christian Watson in my first two picks. And I also had J.K. Dobbins. So my team stinks. All right. Javon, let's go to blowouts of the weekends. I'm going with the Bills. I think they win this game by 10. I'm not buying the Dolphins, who I think are going to be the squarest play of the weekend. Oh, the Dolphins just won by freaking 70 points against Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. Now they're getting 3 points against the Bills? Guys, come on. If it was that easy, the books wouldn't be open and Vegas wouldn't look like it does. The Bills are going to steamroll the Dolphins in this game. The Bills own the Dolphins, guys. Let's not forget they've beaten them the last 9 times out of 10 when they've played them, and they're going to make it 10 out of 11 in a big fashion. This weekend, I love the Bills at home in this spot. Sell high on the Dolphins, a team and an offense I do believe in, but the Bills are still my Super Bowl champs. And I think the Bills the last 2 weeks have honestly been talked about way less than they should because of some other teams and situations and Travis Kelce and the Dolphins scoring 70 points. Let's not sleep on what the Bills have done the last 2 weeks. Now they're going home. They're about to win this game big. 10 plus. Give me the Bills spread.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I went with the biggest spread on the board, which I think is the biggest spread on the board for a reason. Obviously, the teams involved, Cardinals and 49ers. I think the 49ers win this one easily. I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw week one with them against the Steelers. Cardinals are coming off of a win against the Cowboys where, I mean, they made the Cowboys defense look like middle schoolers. Really, the Cardinals have been kind of impressive. I don't think they're as nearly as bad as people thought they were going to be coming into the season. Josh Dobbs has been pretty conservative with the ball. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against this 49ers defense. I think he's going to be pressured a hell of a lot more than the Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants pressured the Cardinals in those 3 games to begin the season. So this is the first time where I think the Cardinals are really going to look like the team that we thought was going to be contending for Caleb Williams. I think this is going to get super, super ugly.
Agreed. Chat, this is one of those weeks you might just want to square up for Kitch and take McCaffrey in your DFS lineups this week. I'm paying up to get him. I think he's going to have an absolute field day. He might not even play the 4th. He might not need to because of the production he has in the first 3 quarters. They're going to run the living heck out of the football against that Arizona D-line. It's going to get ugly. They're going to run up that score. All right, Dubs, let's move to upset alerts for this weekend. I'm taking the nastiest play on the boards. You might need to get checked into a mental institute if this is the play you're on, but this is how I bet, guys. It just is what it is. If you think I'm laying 3.5 with the Broncos after what we saw last week, maybe you do need to go to a mental institute because that is not a winning bet. I'll tell you right now, I will buy the basement on the Bears here at home, getting 3.5 points between 2 of the worst teams in football. I still believe in Fields, and I think he can keep this within 3.5. He cannot play worse. This team cannot play worse. And I don't really like what Sean Payton's building out there in Denver. I haven't liked what I've seen out of Denver in the last 5 years. And I know it's, new times out there, but they stink. That defense is washed. Sure, they got Surtain. He's a beast. Nobody else. They stink. Give me the Bears to cover a spread and probably win this game outright this weekend. And yeah, this might be the most moose shit game on the planet. Toilet bowl.
That's hilarious.
What's that video, dude?
Hilarious.
What the fuck? Okay. Javon, thoughts? Do you like the Bears?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Bears. I would be lying to you if I said I am seriously considering getting involved in this game. But if I had to take a pick, I'd align with you there for sure.
Okay. Tell me about the Titans.
Yeah, this is one of these games that Vrabel finds a way to win. Just when they get absolutely destroyed by what I think is either the best or second best defense in the league. The Browns on the road last week. You had a little Bengal situation where they went on Monday night against Joe Burrow or with Joe Burrow, who didn't look all that healthy. They scratched out a win. Their defense looked great in that game. This is going to be an ugly game. This is going to be a game where on both sides of the ball, you're going to have 2 defenses that have pretty good matchups, except for the one big difference there. We've seen Derrick Henry kind of dealing with a little bit of an injury, little turf toe, and then Tyjae Spears been getting more snaps. He's also had really, really tough matchups to begin the season, and this is the easiest one he's had so far. So I think you're going to see a little more efficiency out of the run game for the Titans offense that really, really needs it. So the Bengals, I believe, have been hanging 29th or 30th against the run pretty much the majority of the season. So again, that's the one thing that's been missing for the start of the season from the Titans is a really efficient run game. That's why their defense, which is good in the front 7, and the secondary struggles a little bit. They've been on the field a lot, which you could see that getting exposed a little bit against Deshaun Watson and the Browns. And I guess really all the games to this point, except for Derek Carr week 1. So I do think it's going to be a massive difference, and we see a slower game, little Vrabel masterclass defensively, especially, and Titans eke out this game. Bengals aren't back just yet.
Okay. The public will probably be jumping back on Joe Burrow in this spot after they pulled out a nice little win there and played okay in the second half. And nobody wants to buy stock on the Titans after what they saw last week. You're so right. You said it perfectly.
85% of bets right now on the Browns or on the Bengals.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully not the Browns.
Yeah,
but the Titans. Javon, you said it perfectly. This is a game Mike Vrabel wins. It so is.
Yeah.
Titans plus 2.5. Maybe even Titans them out. No way the Bengals go 1-3. No chance, guys. They have Burrow. They have Jamar Chase. They can't go 1-3.
No shot.
Well, then why do they play the games, folks? Why do they play them? All right. Let's get moving and grooving. Let's go to Prize Pick Squares, Javon, for the weekend. We've got a guy we're fading. We got a guy we're tailing. I'll get it kicked off here. A name I've already talked about, Adam Thielen. He's going to keep producing. Until this dude gets hurt, he's going to be a fantasy football monster. I'm starting him in my DFS leagues this week, and he's going to get fed against his old team, whether it's Dalton, Young, I don't care. It doesn't matter. The routes he's running are so simple. anybody who's in that game with QB is going to be feeding him because neither of those two QBs are probably going to be throwing the ball much down the field in this spot, even though it's against the Vikings secondary, which is a plus that Thielen's going against because, number one, they stink. And number two, I mean, he knows that team. He's been there for years. Revenge game for Thielen, who feels like he's now on one of the crummiest teams in football, watching all his buddies play on the Vikings, who I know they're not off to a great start, but that's been a competitive playoff team in the past. And the season's not over yet. I mean, we can both agree that the Vikings are way ahead of the Panthers with how competitive they are overall with their team. So Adam Thielen's probably salty that he's sitting down there in Carolina watching the Vikings all ball, Justin Jefferson ball. But you know what? He's going to show that with his results on the field this week. Take his more than 4.5 receptions. He's about to get fed on little short out routes the entire freaking game. He might have 10 catches. And then, Javon, I know you've been targeting fading B-Rob recently. I know you didn't want to go back to it this week. It did not work. But you know what? I'll do it for you this week. There is no way that B-Rob gets more than 50 yards this week. That's not going to be our game plan. We're not going to have a choice with how bad our O-line is and how elite the Eagles' D-line is, maybe the best in football. Guys, Sam Howell's on a record pace right now for about to set the league to get sacked the most in NFL history. Our O-line is moose. There is no way they're going to be able to run the ball at all. The plays we're going to have to run, it's going to be Sam Howell bootlegging, Sam Howell running for his life like a chicken with his head cut off. And I'm not saying it's not going to work, but we're going to have to win this game in the air. And the Eagles' secondary has not been impressive. So the Manders' game plan in this game is going to have to be for Bieniemy to get Sam Howell back, locked in, and win this game through the air. They're not going to feed B-Rob because he's going to have nowhere to go. I promise you guys, I know these teams. I know this spot. It's B-Rob less than rush yards this week. I hate to do it to my guy. He's been playing very well, but not this week. And if you look at his prize picks chart, you can probably see why I want to take it as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I took for my my little fade backing, or I guess first one, Josh Dobbs has thrown a pick against the Niners. Hasn't thrown one so far this season. And really, again, a lot of it has been due to him not being pressured nearly as much as he's going to see this week. And we thought that would be kind of the switch that would be flipped against the Cowboys this past week, and that wasn't the case. He was kept relatively clean in the pocket, not as much as the first few games against the Commanders and Giants, but nevertheless, still wasn't under an immense amount of pressure. He will be this week. This Cardinals offensive line is going to get absolutely destroyed, and you're going to get a secondary that's going to be in a big position for a lot of interceptions there. He hasn't really made many turnover-worthy throws either, but again, a lot of it has to do with the lack of pressure that these defensive lines have been getting against him. So this is the game. Again, I know it's the Niners. I know it's, the Cardinals, supposed to be the bottom dwellers of the league with a 14-point spread, but there's a reason why he's up for this after not throwing an interception all year, and it's damn near minus 140 to the over. So he's thrown one. Then Chris Olave, you can kind of debate here because, I want to target number one wide receivers against the Bucs. You could say it's Chris Olave. You could say it's Michael Thomas, but with Jameis Winston being part of it, I want the deep shot. And Chris Olave is the deep shot against the secondary, so I think you're going to get it. Michael Thomas, a little more in short yardage, which the slant boy name, especially against the Bucs, kind of comes to fruition, and that's not really where I want to trust Jameis Winston. But Chris Olave, again, kind of the intermediate to deep shots. I think he absolutely torches this Bucs defense, who we've seen what A.J. Brown's done to them. We've seen what Justin Jefferson's done to them, which all have kind of that aspect in their game. So, again, the safety play hasn't been strong. Potential Carlton Davis out for another week. That really doesn't matter because he'll probably be playing a little more on Michael Thomas anyway. But even if he does, that dude is absolute burnt toast. So Olave, who's surprisingly getting steamed a little more than you'd see a Michael Thomas or really anybody else, that's my guy against the Bucs this week.
All right. Olave is about a tweak. I mean, he's about to have 100 yards in that game. I'm with you.
Yeah, I think he does.
Dubs. All right, chats. Let's go ahead and pivot to our meat on tape plays of the weekend. Mark these ones, star them, write them down, get your notebooks out, click those pens. You're going to want to remember these plays. I'll get it started off here. I'm going to back the Jags, and this potentially could be my survivor pick. I have not decided yet. This week's pretty tough. I don't want to rush it, but right now it is. Give me the Jags to bounce back after getting punched in the mouth last week at home. Honestly, the last 2 weeks, they've gotten punched in the mouth at home. The first game was against Kansas City. They get a pass for losing that game, although they only put up 9 points. And then you got Houston, who they lost to by 20 when they were 7.5-point favorites at home. We know the narrative. The Jags don't cover big spreads at home. Well, in this spot against a QB who I think might be the worst in the NFL, I really don't like what I'm seeing out of Desmond Ridder. I think he looks atrocious. And like I said in the beginning of the season, they would be way better off with Taylor Heineke in at QB because at least he can make the right reads. I mean, Desmond Ridder's back there sitting there like a bomb about to go off because the guy doesn't throw the ball. It's worse than Sam Howell. That guy's gotten sacked so many times already this year. He is not the guy, at least not right now. And I'm not saying the Jags defense is good, but I'm saying after losing those last two games, especially after losing the freaking game last week to a team they're -7 against, Houston, they're going to absolutely ball in this spot. And yes, chats, they dominate out there in London, and they're going to do it once again. Another reason to want to back a team like the Jags, it's going out there all the time. They've done it before. They're comfortable with it. Who knows what the heck the Falcons are going to be going out there. That's sketch. So give me the Jags over there in London to get it done on the spread. Love this spot for them to bounce back. Sell high on Atlanta, I guess, being 2-1 because I hate what I've seen out of them in their QB, and buy as low as you can on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags to take care of business in London like they've always done.
Yeah, fair enough. Definitely not backing the Falcons this week. I gave them a chance on the road where, I mean, they haven't done anything on the road for a year now, and they did not look good on the road last week, to say the least, against the Lions. But yeah, I don't need to resell mine, but it's here for a reason. Feel really good about it. The Steelers-Texans over, doubling down on it. You're going to look and you're going to see a lot of explosive plays in this game, whether it's from that offense and Nico Collins and Tank Dell for the Texans, or you're going to get a little shock, maybe a little George Pickens appearance for a crazy game. I think there's going to be a lot of explosive plays. This might be the most exciting game of the early window, I think. So points, and more of them. I might take an alt line in this one.
Whoa. Over 50 piece?
I'm going to see what I like best for the price. But, yeah, at least going up a touchdown.
Okay. W's. Chat, 2 plays we love this weekend. Jags -3 and the Pitt Houston over 42.5. Mark these ones down. Lock them in. They're smacking. All right, chat. And we'll do some recaps on Monday for these plays as well. Javon, let's pivot. But first, let's talk about Pickett. Guys, if you haven't downloaded Pickett yet, do me a favor. It takes 3 seconds. It's free, and I promise it'll make you a better sports bettor, and I promise it won't be a waste of your time. Guys, this app has one of the cleanest UI UXs I've seen out of any sports betting app out there. Download it. Use promo code Javon and get yourself set up. Start tracking your bets. Sync up your sports books. It does all the work for you. I promise you, if you try it out, you're going to get addicted to it because it really helps you keep all your shit together and know how you're winning or losing. Download Pickett, promo code Javon. Let's pivot, Javon. I need you to take us through the MLB slate. I need winners. All right, we had a couple last night, W Squad Ride, W Prize Picks boards. What do you like in this weird Thursday afternoon and Thursday night MLB slate? Rip us through it.
Yeah, not much. I'll tell you that. So we won't spend too much time on it. Probably my favorite play on the slate is right the next game we got coming up here. I really like the over too, but I went with Milwaukee team total over 4.5. I think they're going to destroy Dakota Hudson today. I don't know if it's still up, but I'm taking that over earned run square. I'm going to lock that in pretty soon for Dakota Hudson if that is still on the board. But sinker slider guy who we've targeted him a couple times. I think the Brewers offense is a perfect offense to do that against. You're getting a little different of a look than you got yesterday. Yesterday they had a couple of the guys sitting because they're not playing for anything. Today you got Yelich in the lineup. You got, for the most part, the A team out there. So I think they're going to put up runs on Dakota Hudson. And again, kind of similar to Pablo Lopez game yesterday. I don't know what to expect from Corbin Burns. I'm leaning the side that he's going to pitch pretty well against a AAA lineup for the Cardinals, where actually I shout out the season entry, the Goat Whale, for the Spaces. I think Goldie is sitting again, which is huge. But yeah, nobody out there for the Cardinals looks the slightest bit competitive. I still do like the over, but I think the Brewers are going to have to put up a lot of runs themselves to do it. So that is what I'm going with in that game. Favorite play on the slate, I'd say by far, because we really don't have much.
Yep. A couple points to go over for the MLB slates. The Orioles can clinch the AL East with a win today. Doesn't matter what anybody else does. If the O's beat Boston today and they're a -130 favorite with Creamer on the mound against Chris Sale, Javon, it's over. Do you think they clinch today? Or do you think Chris Sale and the Red Sox shock the world?
Yeah, I kind of think they do clinch, but it's not one that I'm willing to go to the grave with. I think that's going to be a little back and forth for both teams. Like, I really don't trust either pitcher in these matchups. Like, I think Chris Sale, it's going to be one of those outings for him where they're going to drive up his pitch count very, very early. And then they're going to get into that Red Sox pen a little earlier than they would wish. I mean, he's coming off of a couple really good starts. Don't think that's going to continue on the road against the Orioles, especially in a situation where they're trying to clinch here and want to get that over with, I'm sure. So I do think it's going to be, honestly, I kind of don't mind the over there, but I think there's a reason we're starting to see that line creep towards the Orioles with Mooshit, Dean Kramer on the mound.
Yep. I lean Orioles on to get it done tonight and clinch.
There we go.
All right. And yes, over. I lean that as well with you and Dead Larry Bird and chat.
Yep.
All right. What about, let's see what other games are meaningful today. I don't even know if I want to talk about the Cubs in Atlanta, but I do know that Miami and Chicago are tied for the last wild card spot, Javon, and Miami does have the tiebreaker. We've got, like 4 games left, I believe. Although I think, does Miami play today? They do. So, yeah, 4 games left, and they're tied up. Javon, thoughts in this spot? Are you thinking about maybe taking Atlanta because the Cubs don't know how to win games?
Yeah, I mean, I would consider it. If I was taking one side of that little wild card race today, I would square up and take Jesus Luzardo on the road against the Mets at -130, which I've talked about a little bit. I'm kind of a David Peterson believer slightly because they've tweaked some things with him and Joey Lucchesi, so they've looked better over the past handful of weeks, I guess you could say. But in this matchup against the Marlins, I don't really like how he stacks up against them. And the Jesus Luzardo has been pretty mooshit for the entirety of the second half. But again, I like his matchup today, especially if he has strikeout stuff going. If you look at a lot of his lines, I mean, it is the Mets, granted, but they look pretty high and pretty indicative of a pretty good outing for him. You see a lot of the guys up for the Mets up for half a total base, like Pete Alonso. I don't know if I've ever seen that against the lefty, especially one who hasn't been all that great, the second half of the season. So there goes Bezos. I want to see what he's nuking today.
Sure.
Yeah, I would lean the Marlins here for sure.
Okay. Lean the Marlins, W's, and we already talked about the Royals game, guys. We think it's pretty weird. That's a coin flip with Cy Young Reagan's on the bump, so it's probably Detroit. ML as a lean in that game. Yep. All right. What about the Rangers and Seattle game, Javon? Houston's up 1.5 on the Mariners right now after last night's big-time win. W live bet there. I texted Javon last night, folks. I said, should we live bet Houston here? And he goes, I don't know. They're not doing anything. And, Miller's grooving fastballs right down the middle. And I was like, second time around, maybe they'll start to see him pretty well. And next thing you know, the base hits come. Got the live bet in. Next thing you know, Jordan hits a fucking rocket. And we're walking up to the counter. So W confirmation there, Javon. I needed it. What do you think about this spot today? Because now Seattle's welcoming in the Rangers into town, who have been on absolute fire. They're probably going to win the division at this point. I believe they're up 3 games in that division. So it's probably going to be Texas. They're playing some of the best baseball in the league right now on absolute fire. And I know they have a weaker arm on the bump, Jordan Montgomery against Gilbert. But if you look at how these guys have been doing recently, I don't know if he's the weaker arm. But Seattle is a favorite here after what we saw last night. Did you think that was weird? I thought the -130 opener for Gilbert was a lot of respect for that young arm and for the Mariners.
I don't know if I necessarily agree.
Okay.
I mean, they've seen him a couple times already, including his last start, and he's been pretty solid. So, I mean, I'm a Logan Gilbert guy, so maybe I hold him to a little higher of a standard in the public eye than you or some. But outside of the Dodgers start, he's looked human. I'm not going to act like he's been shut down, but outside of the Dodgers start and a couple like stray nukes that he gives up here and there, he's been like really, really solid. So I do kind of think that today is the flip-flop game where second time around the Rangers start hitting them up a little bit and we get a little Rangers win on the road, a little sneak win here, which maybe puts the Mariners to bed finally in the wild card race, depending on how everything else shakes out. But I do like Jordan Montgomery in the spot a lot. I don't think it's going to be a situation where Logan Gilbert goes out there and gives up 7. I think it's going to be he gives up a couple nukes to the Rangers, gives up maybe 3 or 4, and then it's like a 5-3 Rangers win.
Okay. Noted. I will be staying off the Mariners here. What's the prize picks board telling you about this game?
We can take a look.
We'll take a look, chat, and then we're going to pivot and talk about some college football. All right. But let's take a peep real quick. And by the way, that was so weird last night with the Houston pitcher charging J-Rod. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in baseball. Talk about amped up. I don't think it's as big of a deal as everyone was making it, but that was fucking weird.
Yeah, that was really weird.
You don't just walk and charge at a guy who you just struck out. That's a little too far.
Yeah,
emotions are running high in this series between these two teams. As you can tell, they're trying to make the playoffs, and that got weird last night. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if J-Rod broke out of this little slump maybe tonight. I mean, he's in his worst stretch in the last 3 games he's had all season. Hasn't gotten a hit.
Yeah, maybe he probably should try. But yeah, this prize picks board, looking at it, there's a lot of stuff up for the Rangers at 7.5 total game. You got a couple guys up for, you got the usual Corey Seager, Marcus Semien up for pretty much everything. Run fantasy score bases. You got Josh Jung, who's just coming back, hasn't really done all that much since he's come back. Nate Lau up there too for hits, runs, and RBI. Jordan Montgomery, who I would say, I know I look at the line and what's he at 6 strikeouts, and Logan Gilbert, I would assume is pretty close to that. Yeah, he's at 6. You got Jordan Montgomery with a tick higher of a fantasy score there than Logan Gilbert sitting at 30.5. So I mean, it's saying Rangers runs to me. That's what I get out of looking at the board, making a little queen sleep there. But I don't know if I love this matchup for Logan Gilbert either. So
yeah,
it makes sense in my mind. But I'm glad to see it kind of reflect that.
Yep. And also after looking at the Rangers up on prize picks, probably a good idea to stay off the Mariners tonight. They might be scoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dubs. Javon, let's pivot. We got a Big Chalk sub bang. What's up, Big Chalk? Appreciate you, my man. The Gummy One also coming in with a sub bang too. Javon, I know you're not a big golf guy, although the Ryder Cup is pretty fucking cool. We've got the matchup set starting up tomorrow. Let's take a peek at these real quick. Anybody in chat know golf? Anybody know ball? Let me know what you like. We've seen this line tick down from the U.S. being minus 200 when it opened up, and now the U.S. is an underdog, Javon, in this spot. I initially wanted to take the U.S. to win the Ryder Cup, but after that line move, I don't know. Now, looking at the teams, I mean, and these are just the matchups for tomorrow, but the U.S. does not have the better team in this competition, but I think they're playing some of their best golf. They have a lot of guys who might not be the biggest names, but Brian Harmon has been playing out of his mind this season. Sam Burns is a freaking beast. They've got some dogs, and I think the U.S. is still the play, but I'm a little bit worried about this line move. And Javon also, Victor Hovland, cool young player. I wanted to show this to the people. He had a freaking hole-in-one on a par 4 in the practice round earlier today. This is bonkers, and this does not happen a lot. This is crazy. I mean, he's got a driver driving the green, which is, that happens in golf. These guys are beasts, but he freaking plunks it right in there. Unbelievable. And after this happened, I don't know if it was just because of the shot or not, but as you see in the caption here, the U.S. is now a dog. Wow. Not good. I might have to stay off the U.S. chat unless you guys tell me differently. I initially wanted to take them, and I know Goots is a golf guy, but it might not be the U.S. anymore if they're an underdog. They opened up minus 200, Javon. What the fuck?
If you're not going to take the U.S., you might as well not bet it. I can't put money on Europe. I just can't do that.
Yeah. I don't know. Not Javon. Goots, who's won recently? Who usually wins this puppy?
Well, usually, U.S. leads by, I think 12 Ryder Cups, something like that. But usually home turf matters the most. And they're in Italy, they're in Rome. So it all lines up for Europe to win, but that's not going to stop the U.S. So,
All right.
I would say
250 on the U.S. W's.
I would say the lines make sense because both teams match up pretty similarly. I think the talent on both sides matches up evenly. But we'll see.
The U.S. hasn't won in Europe in 30 years.
30 years. Yep.
Ooh, that's a trend I could get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Home team usually wins. Sure. All right. Maybe the U.S. is back. Maybe I'll sprinkle on the dogs for the vibes, chat. Changes Sunday. Seems like you guys are in the same mindset. People are getting riled up about this shit. All right. Chat, for the vibes, I will lock in a U.S. Ryder Cup ticket for a half U. I want action on this, and I want the U.S. to win, obviously. Krabs, what would Patrick Corbin say if he saw you were betting on the U.S.? He'd be very happy about that. Some might say he's too patriotic. He'd be in. Okay? And watch out for Ludwig this weekend. Yeah, Dyson, people are talking. Don't sleep about him. He's a beast. All right. Now it's time for some college football here, Javon. I'm fucking stoked. All right, and chat, make sure if you got some time today to check out the vlog that we just dropped. And Goots, you can put the link in chat if possible. But check out the Book It vlog here. Mikey was at the LSU game last weekend, sweating it out, saw a dub in a great game. Check out that YouTube vid. We'll put the link in the chat. All right, guys, hope you've been following along with the college football tour. And good to see Mikey get his first win. I think he lost the first 3 games he went to. The home team lost. But he got a dub on the board. All right, chat, check it out. Link is right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's talk about some college football games, folks. We've got 3 moose games. Absolute moose. But you know what, Javon? There's some opportunities to make some coins here. Let's start with the better game. Temple and Tulsa. I guess this is the best game. I don't know. Braylon Braxton. Try saying that 3 times fast. He's a game-time decision. He's been out the last couple weeks. Even if he plays, I don't even care. I think it's still an edge here for Temple because you're either getting a hurt Braxton back or they're rolling with the backup who really has not been anything special. I like the points here with Temple, Javon. Tulsa has the 3rd worst pass defense in college football, and I think E.J. Warner's good enough where he's going to be able to expose them and keep this within the number. The splits are sharp. I'm going to be rolling with the dog here in this contest. Give me crummy Temple to shock the world and cover here as a sharp dog, but give me the points.
Yeah, understandably so. I would probably rather go with the over myself in this game, which I guess Braylon Braxton could play into that a little bit. I like it a lot more if he is playing this game, but even if he doesn't, I feel fine with Cardell Williams there. Both of these defenses are horrendous, and we talked about it earlier, like Tulsa, after playing Washington and Oklahoma, like you could say on paper, that's a defense that isn't nearly as bad. And W. Daniel isn't a defense that's like nearly as bad as like the numbers are going to indicate because those are 2 of the best offenses in college football. But, you know, someone who has watched them in those games and seen them otherwise, they are very, very bad. They honestly might be worse than the numbers show you there. And this is a Temple offense with E.J. Warner that hasn't really put up the numbers yet, but I'm expecting them to kind of take a step forward here. And I think they are for the rest of the season, or they're going to. So I believe in them. I think they put up points and just overall, a lot of bad defense, a lot of explosive plays in this game.
Explosive plays equals yards. Explosive plays equals more than cashing on prize picks.
Yes.
Any guys you like in this game?
I can't say I've dove too deep into the PP board for that yet. Haven't had the chance to, but I don't even know.
It'd be kind of concerning if you had, probably. Yep.
Yeah, true.
It is Tulsa.
I don't know that we have too much up. We have
ain't much.
You had a couple Temple squares, no Tulsa.
Don't sleep on Temple.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on EJ. EJ more than half a rush yard?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. Yeah. He's not very good in the pocket. So
he's not very quick.
He's like Graham Mertz-esque at times. So I mean, I don't know if he's going to be running for positive yards anytime soon. It might just take 1 sack. Or I guess, honestly, it wouldn't even take one because it's not in negatives.
Right. I wouldn't mind backing E.J. Warner on this fantasy score, but maybe we wait and see if they put up any Tulsa squares for us. We can put something out later. Okay. Yeah. Dubs, let's talk about Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky in chat. If you're asking about questions about plays and games we're not talking about right now, we'll either haven't gotten to them yet, or if we don't get to your questions, feel free to rewatch the episode on YouTube and Twitch and scroll through. They're on there forever. You can go back and watch these whenever you guys want. Okay. W's. Middle Tennessee State, Western Kentucky. Javon, another game that on paper should have a ton of points. There's a 60.5 total. Now, I'm not a weatherman, and I'm not going to be a meteorologist on this show, but there could be some rain in this game. That's all I'm going to say about that. Total's down from 61.5 to 60.5. But I'll tell you what, Javon, this Nicholas Vadiato kid, he could throw the ball a little bit. He could sling the rock. He's pretty decent. It's not just Austin Reed, who's been kind of, dominating this conference and looking really good at QB. This kid can play a little bit too in Middle Tennessee State. And Western Kentucky has a bottom 20 pass defense I wouldn't be surprised if Middle Tennessee State, a very athletic and quick team, could pull off an upset here or at least cover the spread. I lean the +7 with Middle Tennessee State here on the roads. I know Western Kentucky is a very good Group of 5 team with a very good quarterback, Austin Reed, and an elite offense for the last couple of years. You guys remember Bailey Zappi? Yeah, he went here, and I think he broke the passing record. This team has been good for years, Javon. But in this spot, I think I'll take the 7 points with Middle Tennessee State here against that absolute moose Western Kentucky pass defense. This might shock you, but Middle Tennessee State's pass defense is actually rated better.
Yeah, it's surprising after seeing Middle Tennessee for a couple. I mean, granted, it was a little bit of it was Missouri and Alabama, teams they're facing. So again, difference in competition, but I don't think they covered the middle of the field once in either of those games. So to hear that is a little surprising, but I do think they hang in this one with their offense. I don't know if it's going to be as high scoring as we think. I would probably lean it under in this one, but not by much. I think you're still going to get a pretty back and forth affair regardless. So I wouldn't be shocked if this one ends right on the 7.
Okay. Yep. Gun in my head. I like the under as well. And I'll take the +7 with Middle Tennessee State. We move. What about Jacksonville State and Sam Houston State? Your team, Javon. Your squad.
Yeah, really the goal is just riding them until they figure it out. Their defense is so fraudulently good. I don't know how they have figured it out. And it kind of came to a head. And granted, that was pretty easily, I'd say, the best offense they've had to face yet in Houston, compared to the ones they saw the first 2 weeks of the season. But I don't know if I can do it again. I'm not going to lie. I think they've kind of hit their peak there. And again, this is 36.5 total game. They're not going to score many points. Their offense is absolutely horrendous. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a little Jack State -7 for me.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it. This Logan Smothers kid, Javon, this kid can light it up. He can run. He transferred in from a Power 5 school. I forget what it was, but this kid's no slouch. He can run the ball a little bit, and I'll tell you what, Sam Houston State's defense might not look that bad on paper looking at the stats and whatever, but their pass defense is bad. Sam Houston State's, they've given up the 15th least. Yes, I flipped it. Sam Houston State's given up the 15th least yards per game in the air, but their rush defense is atrocious, Javon. Bottom 30, their rush defense is. So, if Logan Smothers can run around like this, like he's been doing, I think he got 18 carries last week, Javon. That seems to be their game plan of running the heck out of the ball, a lot of read options. It could be tough. And with Smothers, who can run the heck out of the ball, QB, and Malik Jackson, the senior running back for Jacksonville State, this kid's no slouch either. They might just run wild over this team. I'm not saying I don't like the under, but I do like Jacksonville State laying 7 here in the spot against Sam Houston.
Yeah, I kind of honestly like the over because I think Jacksonville State, it's tough because when you say this is such a mismatch in the trenches, which I don't know how effectively Jacksonville State, I don't know if it's going to have to be the same thing as they've done all season, but I think they will run the shit out of the ball on Sam Houston State. I don't think that's really the question here, but I think they're going to do it explosively enough to where, hey, maybe Sam Houston can come back and score some points too, which they haven't really done much all season, except for what I believe their opening drive last week against Houston, where they looked like they had a little life for a bit. So I do think it's a little over, and Jacksonville State's going to score.
You starting Gabe Davis or Laporta this week?
Dude. Probably Gabe.
Same. Gabe's about a tweak. Yep.
Yeah.
Although I don't think you can go wrong with either of those guys. You got to put Gabe in there, though. He's got a ball. It's games like this where he racks up the yards for the season long.
Yeah. This game just reeks of a Gabe Davis 60-yard TD pass.
5U subbies from Dwarf Noah? Let's go. That's my Dwarf. Let's go, Dwarf Noah. W's, buddy. What's your favorite play today, Dwarf? I need to know. Favorite play. I don't care if it's Prize Pick Square. I don't care if it's a book play. Let me know what your favorite play of the day is today. I have to know. W's. Love it. All right. College football, not great games today, but there's still some games. All right.
There is.
Lean Temple, lean Middle Tennessee State, lean Jacksonville State. Javon, what are your leans real quick for the people?
Say the Temple Tulsa over, Middle Tennessee +7, and Jack State -7.
W's.
Yeah,
We
I
moved
think that's
EJ
like a-
Willie coming in with a 5-piece. Let's go, chat. Let's fucking go, boys.
Let's go.
W's. Bang. 2 words. Bang. All right. Chat, let's keep moving and grooving. We've got Thursday Night Football to talk about. Finally, we did it. We're here. But first, check out the new We'll Be Seeing pod, folks. Also on YouTube, we'll drop the link as well. The squad was talking about Justin Fields, thinking he might get traded. Check it out. If you think they're crazy, let them know. If you think they might be onto something, let them know. But go check out the video. Love the We'll Be Seeing pod that they've been starting up. Shit's electric. Go check it out. Link in chat. W's. All right, folks. Thursday Night Football. Maybe one of the crummiest games on the slate this weekend. I just don't really have a great read on a side in this spot. I keep going back and forth. I don't know what's fake sharp. I don't know what's what. I do have a couple player props or prize picks in this game that I do like. But Javon, why don't we go ahead and just talk about the game? Both teams are 2-1. You know, Detroit was -1.5 for the majority of the time when this line's been out. Now they're laying 2. There might even be a 2.5 around there. I'm seeing a couple 2.5s. Yep. Confirmed. Yep. I see him. Where is your head at in this game? Who do you like to win?
I like the Lions. I mean, which again, I'm kind of with you that it's one of the tougher games to bet on the slate. But you do have a lot of good news coming for the Packers with you got Aaron Jones and Christian Watson returning. Watson is in all likelihood going to be at a snap count. They announced that. We'll see how true it holds. But, you know, after the announcement, we see the Lions steam back towards the Lions, which is pretty interesting to see. But I do think on both sides, the offensive lines are something to consider here. And I have seen a lot of Packers, which is interesting to me. I know they're home dogs and everything, but it's interesting. But yeah, Packers offensive line, despite the injuries and despite the Bakhtiari situation, they've been absolutely fantastic. But they have faced some teams that are not necessarily going to pressure them nearly as much as they're going to see outside of the Saints. And then on the other side, the Lions, I think, are going to pressure Jordan Love quite a bit. He hasn't been great. It's been deceptive what he's done under pressure because he hasn't faced much pressure yet this season. So if you look at some of his numbers, that's one of them that's due for regression. The other one is the Packers in the red zone, where they've been extremely efficient to this point. So again, I think this is more of a time where we see the Packers stall out in the red zone a little more than we've seen over the past couple weeks here to open the season. So I like the Lions defense matchup. I think they're going to make Jordan Love very uncomfortable, kind of a little bit more to what we saw in the first half of last week with the Saints. So I do lean the Lions here, and I think their offense, honestly, I think they struggle at points too. But I do think they get it together, especially in the second half. And that is something that I absolutely despise to see on the screen, which is why everybody is on his nuts today. I hate it.
They're giving you those receptions plus 118, plus cheeky.
Yeah, which they did move the line up. It's been 3.5, I guess, a couple games of the season, but it's everybody and their mother's favorite prop today. So, I mean, I went yards, which I genuinely probably would have done anyway because I do think he's going to chunk them a little more than, I guess before last week, before like the long touchdown catch, it was a lot more in the short game. They're trying to get him loose with his feet, especially like against the Chiefs week 1. I think he chunks them for more. You're going to see a couple 15 to 20 yarders from Laporta today. And maybe that's where it ends. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be staying off Laporta today, but I'll be rooting for you.
Yeah.
Still great angle. I still think he'll cash. I wouldn't over-exaggerate. What's the public supposed to do? Say this guy sucks? After he's had a great start to the season? Great start to his career?
Yeah.
Oh, he said Packers plus 2.5 is a whale. I bet.
Airport POV.
I bet. Dudes, do we got to take the freaking Lions, man?
Might have to, dude. There's been an uptick in Lions or in Packers whales. You got everybody
seeing it. I've been seeing Packers tickets too, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I was shocked.
I mean, the Packers O-line's been great, but Javon, let's not sleep on this, Lions D-line that showed out last week. They balled. They're legit. They'll be able to slow down the Packers a little bit. Chat, I think the offenses will do a good job moving the ball down the field relatively slow. I don't think they're going to be able to finish drives. That's why I'm taking the kickers combo square on prize picks. More than 3.5 field goals made in this game. I think it's going to be an absolute field goal off Love the kickers. I think it's going to be a ton of drives that stall out late and a lot of kicks in this game. So I'm taking that cheeky square on Prize Picks. Golf less than passing yards UB Ball likes.
That I almost have seen that more than the Packers, which is that's a lot of like the trend bettors, I guess. Not that I like 100% disagree with it, but it was because he's never gone over that against the Packers or whatever. He's gone out of it most of his times, or the Packers don't allow that against any team, or especially at home. So I mean, I don't understand. I was shocked to see the public favorite Lions getting absolutely zero love today.
Address it.
Nah, it's fine. It's the sharp play in the game, so he's gonna be on it.
I know. I just like busting his balls.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, give me that combo square, folks. We're gonna see field goals galore in this game. Why did Lions pass catchers lines get bumped down? Probably because this game will find a way to go under. Wouldn't mind betting that either. The only thing keeping
pretty much all the Packers did too.
Yeah, everything's getting bumped down. I don't mind the under. I don't. Just every under hits a prime time now. It's crazy, and I don't.
Yeah, I mean one of them's eventually got to go over. So I mean, I don't know if I want to try and make it here, even though this one is starting to touch 45. Go back down to 45. Could be the one. But yeah, it's really, really strange everything with this game.
Okay, chat's asking for the splits. I'm seeing 76% of bets and handle on the Lions spreads. I'm seeing 53% of bets, 68% of handle on the under in this game. So although unders have been cashing, the splits are a little bit sharp. Yes, they're a little public, but the under might be a spec sharp still. And that total is down to 45.
Yeah.
1.5. It keeps on moving. I wouldn't hate the under. Guys, if you bet an under in prime time, you're going to be 60% at the end of the season at least. At this rate, you might be 70%. Lock it in. I don't hate it. 61% last year unders went in prime time, Javon. That's a system that hits. It prints.
Yeah, especially when you have at least one side of the ball that you know has a significant advantage in the run game, which is the Lions today. And I know David Montgomery's coming back, so that's a big question mark in terms of usage. Jahmyr Gibbs owners, which I have them in a league as well, been very frustrated with that. I still think it's the Jahmyr Gibbs game. I think it's the game that he finds the end zone. It's the game that he is most, I don't want to say used because that's tough to say with D-Mont coming back now, but maybe his most efficient usage. I think that comes today.
Yeah, what prize pick squares you like?
I mean, I am
assuming that
taking. Yeah, I mean that one. I feel like I have to take. I want to take a Laporta touchdown square, but I genuinely think this is going to be a spot for Gibbs to get in the end zone too, even with David Montgomery coming back. So I'm on that square. I still am on Sam Laporta. Not taking the receptions, which you can't do it on PP. I don't think anyway. Like everybody and their mother is doing, but give me the yards, which have started to tick up for the most part. Stepped to 44.5 now, which you'll love to see that. Those are definitely my top two Lions looks. The ones that I will not fade that everybody is on is Jordan Love rushing yards, because I do think he's going to have a lot of guys in his face, and we've seen the Lions really struggle against running quarterbacks really since the end of last season. Everybody's on this. It's gotten bumped up. We saw what Patrick Mahomes did to them week one, a couple of chunk runs. So they play a lot of man coverage, so like nobody's there to mark the quarterback, and especially with Jordan Love here, where I think he's going to get pressure, and he hasn't really a majority of his early season, at least you could say. He'll be running.
Okay, you might not have a choice against that D-line. I also like Jordan Love less than 1.5 touchdowns in this game, and pulling up the chart will probably help emphasize why. I mean, he's been off to a great start this season. And guys, the Packers have looked great, and the Packers do have a good head coach. I know Dan Campbell's a great motivator, and he's a big rah-rah guy, but I'd take LaFleur over Matt Campbell any day of the week. But I don't take Jordan Love over, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but Jared Goff. No chance I'm taking that, although Jordan Love has looked good so far this season, and I'm not saying, I'm a big fan of the Lions in general or Jared Goff. I want to fade Jordan Love. I like the under in this game. Like I talked about with the field goals chat, drives will be stalling like no other. These red zone defenses are going to step up. I don't see a world where Jordan Love gets 2 touchdowns in this game. I'll be taking his less than 1.5 on Prize Picks. This is probably my favorite square on the board for tonight.
Yeah, I'm in. That just got added recently too. So it's an interesting square they put up.
And rumor has it they might have put up that reception square for Laporta, Javon.
Did they?
Yes.
Was it a 4?
Let's go peep it. We'll go take a look, folks. 4.5.
It's a
Wow.
4.5. What does that mean? The price is on the books now.
I'm happy to look.
Because I mean, it was 4. It was everybody's favorite thing that it was like plus 120, plus 115 to go over that.
Plus 105 on Shmem G Shmem. Sure. I'm happy to look up what the prices are here in one moment. Pulling it up right now as we speak. Chat. I haven't seen your favorite plays in this game yet. Can you drop your favorite play? I don't care if it's a side total, prize pick square, in chat. I want to know what you guys are riding tonight. What is your favorite NFL play for Thursday Night Football on the Bezos, Amazon Prime, Moose Fest, like all these games have been? Maybe we will get a close game for once.
Hope so.
Here come the plays. W's chat. Josh and Dontavian receptions. What do we think about that play? Or either of those two plays, Javon? Do you like either one?
No. Or at least Wicks. Josh Reynolds could do his, but Wicks I'm not touching in the slightest. The reason they took it off is because Christian Watson's coming back, so it's steamed to the under.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't like Wicks, but Reynolds I can be convinced.
All right, and looks like Trent needs some help. I thought we already said it, but he might have left. Take Gabe Davis. Start Gabe Davis this week. Have to, Trent. You don't have a choice. Laporta's a beast. Don't get me wrong, but you got to start Gabe in that matchup, man. And I'm looking at Sam Laporta receptions here, Javon. Looks like it's definitely getting closer to even on the lines. I mean, FanDuel is minus 106 for more than 4.5 receptions, bro.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like to see that. I hope everybody and their mother wins with that because I need him to grub. I need it.
W's. All right. Let's keep moving, chats. Any other squares in this game, Javon, that are worth our time? My favorite two are definitely that Jordan Love less than 1.5 touchdowns and the Carlson-Patterson combo field goal square more than 3.5. Guys, it's going to be a field goal fest out there. The game's going to go under. Maybe the Lions pull out a nice win with a game-winning field goal. I could totally see that as Power Wheels comes in with a sub-bang, 16 months, dubs. But that's the script I see this game going at. The teams move the ball down the field very well. They stall in the red zone. They kick a lot of field goals. The game barely sneaks under, and the Lions kick a game-winning field goal to win this game. Maybe they don't cover if that line closes at 2.5, but I do think they'll pull out a win here and then take those two squares, Jordan Love, fading him less than touchdowns, and the Carlson-Patterson more than 3.5 field goals. Javon, give the people your NFL rundown real quick, and then it's about that time.
Yeah, overall game script wise, I feel very similar to how you feel about this game. I do think it's going to be a tight end show on both sides. At least I'm willing to go to the grave with Laporta's yards today. Not as much receptions, but I do love that it's starting to get steamed up. But on the other side too, like I think Luke Musgrave is forgotten in the Laporta slurpage today. The Lions are not great against tight ends, and I think that's going to show itself today, especially if you see Jordan Love getting touched a little bit by the defensive line, which I think he will. I think he's going to get pressured quite a bit. So that's kind of a safety net guy that you can have there in Luke Musgrave. I like the receptions at 3. I believe it's at 3 flats. That would be what I would go with on the Packers side. But yeah, that's kind of my little game script. I think there's going to be pressures, tight end, safety nets, a lot of field goals. Maybe it sneaks under. I do think that the offensive pace is going to be fast enough to where it's not going to be a sweat-free under if it does go under in this game.
Okay.
I think it'll be getting close to that line a little bit, but yeah.
All right. That's fair. Trent, start Gabe Davis. Trent, start Gabe Davis. Trent, start Gabe Davis. All right? Start him. Put Laporta on the bench. And then Laporta receptions tonight will be free as well. That's a win-win.
Win-win.
All right, chat. It's about that time. Goots, I want you to flash up that glorious prize picks day from yesterday to get chat's mind right and know that we're dialed right now and we're finding winners left and right. Legacy Day, cleaned up shop yesterday, folks. Squad ride cashed. Tons and tons of prize pick squares cashing. W Day, can we run it back? I think we can. I like our chances today, Javon. Why not us?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. All right. Squad ride. Any baseball you want to put in?
Ooh, good question. I don't know that we have any because the only play that I really love on the board is that one starts pretty soon. So it's not much unless there's one that caught your eye. The only late game that I would say, or late games that I would say are even in contention in my head would be the Marlins and the Rangers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's start with football. And if we come back to baseball, we're going to need it, but I'm not loving the board at all today. And we almost swept yesterday, so you might as well not go back to it in force. You know how that goes.
Yep, fair enough.
Let's start with college. Are you good with Temple going in there?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay. Dubs. Temple plus 3.5, folks. Do you want to put in the under or Middle Tennessee State plus 7?
It's up to you. I really don't have too good of a grip on these games going tonight.
That's okay. I'm going to double check the splits in these games, Chad. Make sure we're not getting bamboozled here. Make sure we're not taking any plays that everyone and their mother's on. Jacksonville State, everyone and their mother's on. Not surprised. And there's some more Middle Tennessee slips than I thought, too. All right. We'll start with Temple. Let's go to the NFL because I think we're more confident about some prize pick squares and some plays in that game. I think we got to put the under in here, dudes. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy, Javon, but it's doing what it's been doing on every single primetime game recently, and that's slowly dropped throughout the day. I don't see how we don't just keep riding the primetime unders wagon, especially if you think it's going to be a field goal fest out there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah? All right. Chat, you might want to get this in ASAP. There's a couple 45s lying around still, but it's going to go to 44.5 really quick. Detroit, Green Bay, under 45. What's your favorite prize pick square in this game? We should put that in there.
Honestly, it's between Laporta and the Laporta combo touchdown. But I know you don't want to put Laporta in anything today. So, I mean, if we're talking other squares, you could go to the Packers side. I do like the Jordan Love rushing yards and Musgrave, but Love rushing yards. That's honestly the only thing that kind of scares me about that 1.5 touchdown square. So I wouldn't be shocked if he runs one in.
Okay. We'll definitely leave out that Jordan Love touchdown square then. We're not putting that in there. And I would not be opposed to going to a Packer. But do we want to potentially think about throwing a tease piece in here, Javon?
Nah, I don't think there's a good way to tease this game. No.
I mean, it would have to be Packers in the under.
That was the only way you could do it, and I really don't care to do that.
Okay. All right. These are weird. The line's moving towards Lions, but the under. Big Dad saying. No, I wouldn't say that's weird. The Lions D-line is slept on. Maybe they win this game with their defense somehow.
Yeah.
Do you want to put the Lions in here?
I mean, I don't care to put them in there. I'm not incredibly confident on them as a side, and I know they're going to win just because they're the only side in the NFL game in there. I feel like we're more confident on a couple squares.
You want to take that field goal square?
Yeah, I'd be down to take the field goal square.
Field goal combo square. More than 3.5. I really like that angle. I probably liked the Jordan Love less than 1.5 touchdowns angle until you said he's going to rush one in. So now I'd say my favorite prize pick square is the field goals more than 3.5. Guys, we're goated, and the BTL community is awesome. However, I think this is the wrong read in this game. This is soaring over, and the Packers outright tonight. Slip.
Nah.
Slip.
I respect that one, though. At least he can come in like a dick and say, I feel like you guys are idiots.
I'm just fucking
That's a respectful chirp. I love that.
Sure. All right. Fair. Can we build a BTL parlay? No, not with this game, dude. I mean, we can't even put together the squad rides. This is not the game we're doing a parlay in. We're just trying to sneak out with a win, folks. There's some days it's easier, some days it's harder. Either way, we're going to get it done. But it's not one of those days where we're putting together, an 8-piece SGP that has life.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely not one of those days.
No. All right. Right now, we've got Temple plus 3.5. We got Detroit, Green Bay, under 45. We've got the field goal combo squares more than 3.5. Javon, you want to put in that Jordan Love rushing yards?
Yeah.
Okay, what's he at?
18.5 now. He got bumped while we were talking about it. Up a yard
Let's
again.
go. W bump. That ain't no problem. Give me the worst line.
Bumps. We like bumps.
Give me the worst line. I don't care. Ryder Cup squares. Chaka, we can't, bro. But you're giving us that. Homa, Harmon, less than 4.5 holes, 1. I kind of want to bet on my guy Harmon. Slept on lefty. I don't know if I want to take that. Over in field goals, under the game total. Yes, sir, UB Bulls. 100%. Because I don't know if you know this, but touchdowns are actually worth more than field goals. So that's why we like that. All right.
Yeah.
Any other plays we want to add in? We could go with a 4-piece. We could put in something else you like, Javon. We could put in Atlanta and fade the Cubs just out of spite. Whatever you want to do. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the second we fade, they're going to win. Yeah, I don't care for too much today. If we're going to add anything from the baseball board, like I said, I think it's Marlins or Rangers for me. You didn't seem too convinced on either of those, so we can leave those to go.
Can we add Middle Tennessee State +7?
You can if you really want to.
Okay, let's do it. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. You got less than 5 minutes. Get your bets in. Hurry up. Go, go, go. Temple +3.5. Detroit Green Bay under 45. The field goal combo square more than 3.5. Jordan Love more than 18.5 rush yards. And Middle Tennessee State +7 on the road. That one's nasty. Get your votes in. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Hurry up. Get your votes in. The Twitch poll in chat. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to get involved, you want to vote in the squad ride, hop over to the Twitch, Book It Sports. You still got some time. Hurry up, though, and go, go, go. But you can join and vote for the squad ride today. Chat, we've put our trust in you all week. Sure, I bitched about some of the plays that have won, but you've come through and respected coins. Can we run it back again today? Can we get another squad ride dub? These have been printing. You should be tailing these for a unit every single day responsibly. Okay? That's the game plan. Go, go, go. Get your votes in. Hurry up. You need a squad ride in your life. It's like an anchor of your freaking betting card of the day. Yeah. Guys, it's 40 games over 500. How are you not taking this every single day? I know most of you are, but if you're scared, if you're not loving the slates, don't overthink it. Just take it every day for a you, and you go about your day. Even the plays you don't love will still end up smacking, trust me. Okay, because I take every single one. They do. There's something about this squad ride, folks. Let's lock in. Let's get those votes in. And as I always say, click the right button, please. Need a winner today.
Krabs, what if I told you I just went into the little blue book and the first thing I see is the popular parlay, both quarterbacks over passing yards and both quarterbacks over 1.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. Then I go right under that to the game, and the boost for tonight is Lions and Packers to each score a touchdown in each half.
It's almost like that field goal square was really good.
Yeah. That's a great look for the field goal square.
It's almost like I know ball. Yeah. Interesting. If only I've been saying that. If only I haven't shown you guys the slips, shown you guys the records, tracked all my NFL plays, recapped them, gone 61% last year, all for free. Probably the only person out there that does that and actually tracks them. If only I did that. Oh, wait, I fucking did. If you guys aren't on board with the NFL plays, figure it out. Best sport. Plain and simple. All right?
Locked.
Lock in. That field goal square be hitting. All right? And that squad ride be hitting too. Let's smack another one today, folks. Got about a minute left. Get your votes in. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. And by minute, I mean about 10 seconds. Get your votes in. It looks like it's going to be that Jordan Love rushing prop. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that one bit. It got bumped. That could be the difference, folks. Get your votes in. Hurry up. And it's going to be Jordan Love. More than 18.5 rushing yards, folks. A little prize pick squad ride. I can get down with that.
There we go.
Sure. W's chat. Lembong coming in hot right at the end. Beats the buzzer with a sub bang. Lembong, we do it all for you, brother. I know you know. I don't have to tell you, but we do it all for you. We do it all for Lembong. Dubs. Dwarf Noah coming in with another subby. Dream Warriors 30 getting blessed up with a sub from Dwarf Noah. That's my dwarf. We got Power Wheels coming in with a sub bang as well. As always, WBTL today, folks. You brought the energy, you brought the questions, you brought the winners, and you brought the votes. We're rolling with Jordan Love, more than 18.5 rush yards. Chat, stay posted. We'll post some prize pick slips later today. You know we got to run back that A team and B team, Javon.
Of course. Have to.
W's. Good work today, chat. We'll be back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be soon.
We will.
Peace.